Liara, can I help you?
I've been forwarding the Turian Counselor information on the Prothean device. It can't be built without Council support, but he's not budging until their Primarch is safe.
I know.
Are you all right?
I didn't get what you'd call a good night's rest.
There's more to it than that, isn't there? What's really bothering you?
When the Reapers hit, I could hear people screaming in the streets below me. We left a lot of them behind.
There's no way for you to save them all. But I know you're doing everything you can, and you'll get back there in time to help.
I hope you're right.
Don't blame yourself, Commander.
Commander Shepard? I'm Specialist... Oh. I beg your pardon. I thought you were alone.
I was just leaving.
Commander Shepard, I'm Comm Specialist Samantha Traynor with Alliance R&D. I was part of the team retrofitting the Normandy after you turned it over to the Alliance. There weren't many of us aboard when the Reapers hit.
Slow down, Specialist Trainer. You're doing fine.
Thank you. I worked in a lab. I never thought I'd be serving on a ship.
Why don't you tell me about the retrofits?
The ship's in line with Alliance regs now, and it has new, top-of-the-line, quantum entanglement communicators. In fact, Admiral Anderson had intended to use the Normandy as his mobile command center.
That's no longer an option.
Yes, I heard he chose to stay and fight. In any event, I'm honored to serve under you, Commander. For as long as you need me, that is. They only sent me here to oversee the retrofits.
Shepard, some of our systems require further testing, and Specialist Trainer has been extremely effective during installation. I would prefer that she remain.
Got it, Edie.
Wait, since when does a virtual intelligence make requests?
Edie's an AI. Fully self-aware.
Oh, I knew it. I knew Joker was lying.
Jeff requested that I pretend to be a simple VI to protect myself. I apologize for the deception.
Thanks, Edie, and I apologize for all those times I talked about how... attractive your voice was. Anyway, shall I give you a tour? I think you'll be impressed by the new upgrades. In the CIC, you'll find the galaxy map where you can set the Normandy's destination. You can also check your messages at your private terminal. The War Room houses a strategic command center for mission-specific intel and war analysis. The Shuttle Bay contains an armory where you can modify your equipment between missions. Finally, Liara has set up a lot of hardware down in the old XO office on Deck 3. I think she's claimed that room. And there you are. Still the same ship as before, it just flies Alliance colors now. Speaking of which, I believe Admiral Hackett would like to speak to you at the VidCom.
Commander, Udina updated me on your meeting with the Council. Sounds like they're running scared.
We did present them with a lot of unknowns. They're feeling threatened and want immediate solutions, not theories.
Theories are all we've got right now. What's your plan?
I'm trying to get the Turian Primarch for a summit meeting with the Asari and Solarians. I'll bypass the Council and appeal directly to their leadership.
That's good, I like it. This is where we start laying the groundwork for our counterattack.
Unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot to back it up right now.
Then build alliances. Gather everything and everybody you can for the cause.
What about the Prothean device?
Find me people who can help build it, and if you can't, I'll take ships, soldiers, supplies, whatever you can get. We need to keep hitting the Reapers across every theater of war they open. Buy us time to figure out the device.
And when it's finished?
Assuming it ever is, we pool all our resources. Think of it as a giant armada for delivering the device, when the Reapers are most vulnerable. The stronger you can make that armada, the better the chances of punching through.
What about Earth, sir?
We'll just have to hope Anderson and what's left of the Alliance forces can hold out until we've dealt with the enemy.
I understand.
Good. Then make it happen, Commander. I'll be expecting regular updates on your progress. Hack it out.
I always like to kind of keep a track in Mass Effect Let's Plays of what is the longest I go without saying anything at the beginning of an episode. Here I am introducing, and we got to be, 8 minutes in, maybe more? It's going to be a long episode, this one, because we're just going to be talking to people around the Normandy, because this episode we're going to be refamiliarizing ourselves with the ship and with its crew, and there's a lot of new stuff as well. Starting right here... Oh, hello everyone, by the way. Last episode we looked around the Citadel, and I'd learned that what we need to do is help a Turian Primarch. The Turian Primarch, I think, actually. He's basically their leader. Help the Turian Primarch, Fedorian, to leave the battle successfully, and then he will be part of a war summit that's being convened, and hopefully that can help us get what we want of securing support for Earth. This episode, yes, we're going to be looking around the ship quite a lot. So we have the war terminal. The people, armies, and fleets that you've accumulated are your war assets. The overall readiness of the galaxy determines how effectively these assets will perform in the final battle. So, you got a lot of stuff going on here. You have the effective military strength, there's a blue line, a grey line, and then the minimum line. The blue line is the grey line, well, the grey kind of bar, multiplied by my readiness rating, which is 50%. I think I can't actually increase that anymore. Basically, the readiness rating is, if I bring up the war map, each conflict zone had a readiness rating that reflects its ability to contribute to the final battle. Left unattended, these zones will deteriorate and can reduce the overall readiness rating. And it says, system offline, unable to retrieve Galaxy at War status. Because basically, there were two things that influenced this readiness rating. The Mass Effect Galaxy at War app, which is no longer on either the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, so that's not helping, or Mass Effect multiplayer, Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. Yes, this game has multiplayer. By doing that, you can shove any of these ratings up towards 100%. I don't have Xbox Live, and even if I did, I think about 6 people still play that, so that ain't happening. But what this means is, you build them up through those apps and multiplayer stuff, and then over time they degrade back towards 50%. What that means in practice for us is that our overall war asset readiness score is going to be multiplied by 0.5, so halved for the entire thing. This isn't a problem because I'm planning on 100%ing the whole thing, but various things, especially towards the end of the game, are triggered by what your effective military strength stands at. That basically determines how the final battle goes. So that's a slightly irritating thing that tied this to online stuff that's no longer super practical. But we have a number of groups potentially for war assets, but they all fall under Alliance now, all the ones we have. We start off with a fair few ones. The Alliance Engineering Corps, I won't bother reading these. The 103rd Division, the 1st Fleet, the 3rd Fleet, and the 5th Fleet. We know the 2nd Fleet was sacrificed to protect the other fleets when Earth was attacked. We have Diane Allers, who we spoke to last episode. She brings us 5 readiness total. Well, 2.5 actually, but 5. The Normandy itself, with the updates, upgrades we did to this in Mass Effect 2, making it a more powerful asset. So we got the Thanix cannon, we got the Solaris armor, and we got the cyclonic barrier technology. All of those make the Normandy a more powerful, as in worth more, war asset in Mass Effect 3, which is kind of cool. See also, various minerals that were mined in Mass Effect 3 do carry through and give you a bit of a boost to readiness here. Khalisah Al-Jalani is worth 10, now that we've kind of got her on our side by not punching her in the face, satisfying though that is in some ways. And that's all we've got access to for now, but basically, if it doesn't give you anything else, like credits or weapons or ammo or armor or upgrades, something like that, things will tend to give you war assets. It's worth coming here occasionally just to check on what your kind of readiness is. You'll know when you're preparing to launch into the final battle, don't worry, but There we go. So, let's head over to the main galaxy map now. So that's through here. We have this little decontamination room.
Council won't help. Come on, Sarah. If Thestia was lost and Earth hadn't been touched yet, you can be damn sure we'd be guarding our own borders.
Guess that's a way of disguising a loading screen. And we have the galaxy map.
Lab on Sanctum. Admiral Hackett would like you to investigate.
So she's given us a mission there, N7 Cerberus Lab. Doctor, activate the mission visualizer, please. So these come in from the top. In the top right are two things, actually. Is it three? Is it two? I really should know for this one. There's a blue, which indicates the mission name. Green indicates the prerequisites that have to be completed before that mission is available to you. And if it's there, I don't think it is for this one, or it might be. Red indicates the mission by which that one has to be done. There are some slight spoilers in the mission names because they tell you what planets they happen on. So our next one, for example, is Priority Palaven. Palaven being the Turian homeworld. I figured you get some slight spoilers from a mission name, but it's much better to actually know the point at which that mission's going to disappear. If you don't do it by the red thing, if it's there, I can't remember if it is for this mission, but missions that have a red thing in the top right, if you don't complete the mission by then, it goes and you can't do it ever. Mass Effect 3 is very complicated. On the left is where that mission is located. Cluster, system, planets, in that order, in purple, orange, and cyan, respectively. So that'll pop up whenever we're given an optional kind of side quest mission. It doesn't do it for priority missions. And she gave us one there, one of the N7 ones. So, with that, let's talk to Specialist Trainer.
Commander, come to check on your new recruit.
Just wanted to see how you were doing.
Still trying to get my bearings. When I was working on the Normandy's upgrades, I left at the end of the day. I didn't even have a toothbrush or a change of clothing until I made some emergency purchases on the Citadel.
Next time you need something, just ask. You're not alone here.
Oh, it's no trouble, Commander. I'm sure you have larger concerns.
We can put in a requisition order.
My toothbrush is a Cision Pro Mark IV. It uses tiny Mass Effect fields to break up plaque and massage the gums. It costs 6,000 credits.
Okay, yeah. You're on your own with that.
In any event, I appreciate you giving me the chance to stay. Was there anything else?
How'd you end up in the military anyway?
My family didn't have money for university. When the Alliance saw my aptitude scores, they offered me a full scholarship. I served my required years after graduation and decided to stay. I really like the challenges of the lab. Although, I'm sure I'll grow to love frontline service as well.
I'm surprised you're worrying about a toothbrush. We got bigger problems right now.
Oh, believe me. Seeing the Reapers on Earth was terrifying. But I won't help anybody by bursting into tears here in the CIC, will I? Being here on the Normandy helps. If anyone in the galaxy can stop the Reapers, it's you. And if flagging your messages and managing strategic intel helps you in any way, then it's worth it.
You worked in Alliance R&D?
Yes. You'd think quantum entanglement would make communication easy, but imagine incorporating multiple incoming sources and then networking them with extrapolations of time-lag data to construct a coherent situation GUI. It's an exciting challenge. For me, anyway.
Where are you from originally?
A colony in the Terminus systems, actually. Though I studied on Earth, at Oxford. My parents were from London. They loved Earth, but they wanted the freedom a colony life could offer. If they stayed in London, I imagine they'd be dead right now.
A lot of people back on Earth are still alive, and counting on us.
Quite true, Commander.
Carry on, Specialist.
So, we have this private terminal here where we can watch training videos, which are bollocks, or we can review messages sent to us, and there's a couple to go through. Special Ops from Stephen Hackett. Alliance forces are stretched thin across the galaxy. We need your talents for a series of ops. These missions will open the door for the Alliance in places we can't touch through conventional means. We'll deploy operatives to hold point after you've completed your objectives. I need you to head to a Cerberus lab on the planet Sanctum. I'll brief you when you're inbound. So that's the N7 Cerberus lab mission that Specialist Trainer just gave us. Reinstatement. We're a Spectre again. Great. Oh no, we're a Alliance Commander again. Great. Emergency flash traffic. Urgent. All Alliance military personnel. This is a galaxy-wide alert for all human territories. Fleet Admiral Hackett has declared threat condition Saber 1. Enemy presence confirmed in Salt system. Earth under Reaper attack. All Alliance military personnel are directed to evacuate Sol System at the earliest available opportunity. Do not attempt Earth approach. Heavy enemy resistance reported. Repeat, do not attempt Earth approach. Further instructions follow on coded channel Crimson Tacit. Earth-based Alliance personnel unable to evacuate are directed to commence all and any necessary countermeasures. All remaining Alliance military personnel outside Sol Theatre are directed to muster at pre-appointed staging areas and commence offensive combat operations at the first available opportunity. In absence of further instruction, independent action is authorized. We get another thing on the Quarian fleet, we kind of update on that. Where is the Quarian fleet? The latest intelligence shows that the Reapers are taking system after system at a feverish pace. Members of all races are fleeing their stations, colonies, and in some cases their homeworlds. This kind of forced exodus might seem especially familiar to the nomadic Quarians who were pushed off their homeworld by the synthetic Geth centuries ago. But as the galaxy pushes back against the Reapers, Quarians are conspicuously absent. Turian and Alliance spokespeople cannot provide the fleet's current location. They say they have other concerns at the moment. Whatever the Quarians are up to, they want it kept secret from the Council. After a refueling stop at Ilium, the fleet left no stated destination, and there are reports of a galaxy-wide call for all young adult Quarians to abandon their pilgrimages and rejoin the fleet. Greedy and short-sighted powers will always try and gain the upper hand in times of galactic crisis. We can only hope that whatever the Quarians are planning does not interfere with the one thing that should matter, stopping the Reapers. And finally, you have an upgrade waiting. From Glyph. We'll meet Glyph in just a second if you've forgotten who that is. Dear Commander Shepard, some of the data you found allow me to research an upgrade for you. Simply access the terminal in Dr. Sony's office at your convenience, and you may choose how and when to implement it. Have a pleasant day. Glyph. We also have Priority Eden Prime there, but that's DLC, and we'll get onto that in the future. As you can see from the route that one has to take through these things, Mass Effect 3 is an incredibly complicated game. I will put up on the screen right now. This is my aid for figuring out the game. I call it Sovereign. It's a graph which details the path through the game. At every point, what unlocks, what is available during that mission on that mission only, and what is locked upon completion of that mission. And it's how I've kind of planned this thing. It's a visualization of it, and it just gives you an idea looking at it, the scale and complexity of Mass Effect 3. There's a reason why it's taken me a month of solid planning pretty much to actually launch this thing, not only alongside the absurd number of visualizers this thing, I say requires, I do this to myself, but that I wanted to do with this. We haven't even seen one of them yet as well, there's still a final one to go. Anyway, here in the cockpit, let's have a conversation with our pilot, Joker.
Hey, Commander. You know, I had my doubts about the Council. But after years of ignoring your warnings, they're finally willing to step up and tell you they just can't help.
They've spent years denying the threat. You think they'd be prepared now?
I was kind of hoping that maybe they were planning in secret and just not telling you about it because, you know, Cerberus. Well, let me know if you want me to get them on the channel and then hang up on them, you know, for old time's sake.
Some more classic Seth Green there. Can we talk to Edie here or not? No, I don't think there's an obvious terminal for that. Anyway, that's everything on this deck. Of course, there are 5 decks to see. I see the captain's cabin, the crew deck, the engineering level, and the shuttle bay. So, yes, that's what this episode's all about. Let's head up to the captain's cabin. So here we got a couple of options. We have another terminal here which has the same as the ones below, but it also has the squad selection screen. So we can look at our squad here, which currently consists of Liara and James, and we can actually choose different appearances for them here. So Liara's got a couple of cool, like she's got a lab coat form, but then also like her armoured form, which is kind of cool. And James has some increasingly ridiculous armour. So let's go for the big, ridiculous blue Master Chief armour. We can also play around, since we're up here, with our own armour. So, we can choose our casual kind of outfit between the kind of, there we go, various choices here. I think, though I do like the formal dress from, it was the heist mission with Kasumi in Mass Effect 2. But I think the one that makes most sense to me is the, though I do like that one, but I also like the Alliance dress blues, so we'll go for that. Armour set, we only have the one armour set at the moment, so that's not particularly relevant, but we can choose various things here. We start with the N7 set of armor and no helmet. You can actually increase your health by adding a helmet, but I don't tend to have it on. You can have it set, and I think I do have it set to remove the helmet during cutscenes. Let's go for that, and why not? As for other ones, I think we've got the Casa chest piece, which as you can see, so you can see on the right there what your armor is doing. So here, that's the N7 ones all give you a health boost by default, which is why high health boost is your default position for in the full N7 sets. But the Castle one gives you increased shield generation, which I actually prefer. And then we've got... Do we get arms or legs? Ariake arms... Lower the health... increase melee damage? I don't use melee enough for that to be worthwhile. Legs and shoulders we ain't got nothing for. And then the rest is just visual design. So I'm just going to play around with that a bit and have that set to what I want it to. Cool. The old red and black with a bit of a sheen. All very nice. She's just standing on one foot there. How bizarre. Anyway, that's all we can really do. Oh, see, yeah, there we go. We're in Alliance dress uniform now. Wonderful. I'll mix that up occasionally just to see how it looks. With that done, we're done in the captain's cabin, so let's head down to level 3, the crew deck. So here, there are a lot of places that are empty. This is, for example, the life support, where Thane was in Mass Effect 2. The port observation deck is where Kasumi was with the bar, which now has a card table added and stuff like that. And so these will have functions that become clear as we go on. There's also the bog, well, that's the gents. Mass Effect progressive, but not that progressive, to offer unisex bathrooms, which... Dude, I have in recent years just grown to love unisex bathrooms just because I hate urinals. And so urinals are just they're just weird to me. It's like, yeah, I'm going to stand with my knob out with a group of people. So I always tend to prefer cubicles. And the nice thing about unisex bathrooms is they're all cubicles. So I'm happier with that generally because it's really annoying when you're like, well, I want a cubicle, but there's like 20 urinals and 2 cubicles. Whereas if they were both like if everything was unisex, there'd just be cubicles for everyone, and everyone would be happy that way. Especially when the wee cubicles that have got like hand washing sinks and stuff like that inside them. Ugh, perfect. But something tells me we're not there yet as a society, but hopefully soon. Anyway, here we are at Liara's
Commander
office.
Shepard, it's a pleasure to see you again.
That was a bizarrely off-topic rant, but there we go.
The drone from the Shadow Broker's ship.
Dr. Tassoni now refers to me as Glyph instead of Info Drone 95% of the time. If you have a moment, I'd like to draw your attention to a terminal in her office. It analyzes information packages. If you find any useful data, I can research upgrades for you.
And what should I be looking for?
I'll inform you if you've found relevant data. When you do, return to this terminal for your choices. In the meantime, Dr. Tassoni would like to speak with you. Have a pleasant day.
So this terminal, various things will, as Glyph says, trigger it along the way, but for now we have something here. We have an armor mod kit. Usually, these will then give you a choice of things. So this is Farron, who was Liara's Shadow Broker contact. Farron has persuaded his contacts to ship in an armor mod kit to the Normandy. Technically illegal in Citadel space, the kit's Omnigel converter and manufacturing fabricator can make a one-time modification to Shepard's armor, improving shield strength or adding thermal clip compartments. So when we select it, it gives us the choice of, hey, do you want ammo capacity bonus or shield strength bonus? I'll definitely go for ammo capacity. I think that's really bloody useful for a sniping person like I am. And you occasionally get those intel things that give you a choice. They're actually not tracked on any visualizer because I didn't do that. But I'll be obviously notifying you of them when it becomes a thing. Otherwise, well, there's a couple of other things here. There's Liara's broker terminal.
This terminal contains non-essential correspondence from your allied forces. Dr. Tassoni has granted you access.
Very handy there, Glyph. So yes, it gives some additional kind of things, bits of flavour, which can be interesting and useful. Also, this ridiculous setup. We can't see it at the moment because Liara's standing here, but basically, she could have one large screen across this wall, but no, she has about 30 monitors, all of which pivot and face her. As she walks left to right along here, they all rotate and track her so they'll look like a stationary screen from wherever she's standing. Utterly unnecessary. Kind of cool? Sure. But anyway, let's have a bit of a chat with Liara.
Looks like you brought more than just that drone from your ship.
A few things were necessary. I'd be a very silent shadow broker without data feeds.
So you have access to your resources?
What I can get. We'll need it to research this Prothean device. Until we understand precisely what it does, it's far too dangerous to use.
Did the Protheans actually complete this weapon?
You mean, will it work? They wouldn't have poured their last resources into this device if they thought otherwise. But we really need to find out just what kind of weapon they left us.
It'd be nice to know we're not kids playing around with a loaded gun.
Absolutely. The damage it could cause if it backfired is unthinkable. This will be difficult even for us. If something happens on a mission, if either one of us are hurt. Shepard, there's something I need to ask before we go any further. I know you and Gareth grew close. Is that in the past? Should I forget there was anything between us?
So here you can choose. So we romanced Liara in Mass Effect 1, and we romanced Garrus in Mass Effect 2. Here you can kind of make the call between them. And I've given this a fair bit of thought. Firstly, I love Garrus with all of my heart. Shepard is obviously not me, but given a choice of who I would bone, that's not a problem. But actually, having thought of it as a kind of romantic thing, Liara makes sense with my Shepard's arc. Her romance with Liara makes sense in Mass Effect 1. That they both don't know what they're doing, really. They're both in an unusual situation. Liara's barely met humans before and is quite understandably kind of awed and taken in by the Commander. So it makes sense that they have a bit of a fling. But I can understand now how that might not necessarily mature into perhaps a healthy relationship. And yet, Garrus, we're both soldiers, we're on a similar term. I think that relationship for me does make more sense. So, unfortunately to Liara, we have to say...
A lot has happened since then, Liara. I don't think we'd work anymore.
Really? Thank you for letting me know.
I think it's best for both of us.
Of course. Well, anyway, I should get down to business. There's a lot to do if we're to discover exactly what the Protheans left us.
She handled that pretty well, all things concerned. It's never easy to be broken up with in that way, and Shepard did that pretty bluntly. But I mean, I'm always of the opinion of like, hey, if someone's not interested, I'd rather know than stake anything on shit you're not sure about. See what I mean by these monitors all tracking your position as well? It's a ridiculously absurd setup. Anyway, with that, let's head over to, on the other side of this same thing, we have the Med Bay, which contains our newly rehired ship's doctor, Dr. Chakwas.
Commander?
Everything okay down here, Doctor?
The Alliance team cleaned up and restocked, but it's still my old Med Bay. Feels like home.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Let's waste no time. If I may, I'd like to examine you.
Nothing wrong with me, is there?
No, but we should keep an eye on all those cybernetic implants Cerberus grafted into you.
Expensive stuff bringing me back.
And worth every penny. Let's just make sure everything is okay.
I guess a checkup never hurts. Just no scalpel this time, Doc.
Alas, to my great disappointment, it is nothing invasive. I'm just going to run some diagnostics on your implants, and it'll take a few readings. Good. Your implants are showing little sign of rejection. Just keep up that positive outlook of yours, Commander, and your scars shouldn't return. That's it. You're the picture of health.
How's our inventory of meds?
The medbay was fully stocked before you left Earth. We should be good for a long time, even given the amount of fire you take each day.
Do you ever regret working for Cerberus?
We didn't work for them. We used them. If I were to feel anything, it would be guilt. We took their money, took their best people, took their best ship. We used them to defeat the Collectors, and now we are using their resources against them. So no, I don't regret it one bit.
You never mentioned any of your family.
None to speak of, really. I'm the last of a prestigious line of medical professionals. The Alliance is my spouse, and you're all my children. I'm blessed with many close friends. But with each Alliance vessel taken, I lose one or two. We need to end this war.
I'll see you around, Doctor.
Take care, Shepard.
So there she talks about with the scars, something that was present in Mass Effect 2 and is also present in Mass Effect 3. The more bad decisions you make, or the more renegade you go, rather than... So you notice the conversation wheel. Generally, options toward the top are more positive, options toward the bottom are more negative. The more negative options, amongst other things of their actual consequences, will also result in Shepard's face becoming increasingly scarred and mutilated. There is the Cerberus... kinetic? Cybernetic? That's not the word. Synthetic was the word I'm looking for, that we recovered from Mars, is hanging out here in the AI core, and we've got two useful stations here. The Reassigned powers station means that you can reset Shepard or any of your squad mates' powers back to 0 and reinvest all your points in them from the start. So obviously you can only do this in between missions, but it's useful to be able to have that option if you've made some bad decisions. Bonus powers, we have two of them open to us at the moment, fortification and armor piercing ammo. And I will explain as it goes on exactly what makes those available. We'll see one of them actually this episode. But basically, you pay some money there, 500 credits, and you get one of them available as a bonus power. Shepard can have only one bonus power at the moment. At the moment, it is armor-piercing ammo. But that's just something you get by playing through the game is those bonus power unlocks. Anyway, we're done on this level, so let's head down one level to the engineering bay. So down here we got a lot of empty areas, much like upstairs for now, but we also have everyone's favourite, Diana, who we hired last episode.
How's your new assignment working out, Allers?
Fairly normal, except for the unshackled AI, Matriarch Benezia's daughter, and the communicator that can reach Earth. The first two, I can deal with. That last one gets my attention.
So what are you asking for exactly?
Anything from Earth is the lead story right now. That's not opinion, it's fact.
Maybe I can pass on a few non-classified progress updates.
Seriously? You just doubled my ratings. I don't need FaceTime, just a data upload.
Tell people what's really happening on Earth. We need long recruiting lines on every planet after you air a story.
I can do this, Commander. Remind me to tell you about the time I made an Elcor cry.
So yeah, you can tell her that. I told her to focus on Earth and getting to the support we need, but you can also have her run negative stuff on Cerberus and kind of painting them as the villains, which can have some effects. Here we have the Normandy's chief engineer, Engineer Adams.
Commander, welcome back to the Normandy. Or maybe you should be saying that to me.
Engineer Adams, what are you doing here?
I was put in charge of the drive core retrofits. My experience on the Normandy SR-1 made me an obvious choice.
So, what do you think of our SR-2?
She's incredible. If there's one nice thing I can say about Cerberus, it's that they know how to build a ship. And about that, Cerberus, I mean, I owe you an apology.
How so?
Back when you got this ship, Dr. Chalk was contacting me, asking me to help with your mission against the Collectors. I refused. I didn't have your back, and I'm sorry for that.
Why didn't you join us?
I saw what happened to you when the Normandy went down. I didn't trust that it was really you, and I certainly didn't trust Cerberus. Also, as an officer of the Alliance, I don't just leave my post, you know?
Your Alliance first. That's the way it should be.
Thank you, Commander. Glad to be aboard.
Is your family okay?
My parents are serving on Viridian Zenith, an Alliance agricultural vessel. My sister is a navigator on the SSV Benjamin Davis. Happy to report that both vessels are safely under Hackett's command.
Does the new Normandy stack up to the old SR-1?
Stack up. It blows the old ship away. The Tantalus drive core has been completely overhauled. The SR-2 might be nearly twice the size, but the new drive core is 3 times bigger. This ship can fly. That said, Cerberus isn't too high on safety. If pushed past her limits, this core would vent into engineering. Guess it gives my team incentive to keep her well-balanced during a firefight.
Do your job or get vaporized.
Pretty much. I noticed you upgraded the kinetic barriers with cyclonic technology. Should help reduce the draw when under missile fire.
Hopefully that means fewer vaporized engineers.
The IES stealth system is significantly improved. It can handle a higher blue shift of our emissions.
And that means?
We should be able to drop out of FTL without triggering every sensor in range. Very handy for stealth reconnaissance. All in all, the Normandy is a marvel of engineering.
What do you think of Edie?
We had a good talk during the retrofit. A little strange at first, talking shop with an AI.
AI? I thought Edie posed as a VI to keep the likes of you from unplugging her.
Yeah, but I saw through her. Have you seen her hardware? Processing power is off the charts. And then there were the problems that kept fixing themselves. If I hadn't had her pegged, I would have sworn I was losing it.
You never expressed any skepticism, Lieutenant Adams.
I figured I'd better play it safe with the Cerberus AI, Edie. No offense.
None taken. As long as you keep your fingers out of my cognizance processors.
In the beginning, I tried disconnecting her from key processes without giving myself away. Easier said than done. But Joker seemed to trust her, and in time I saw her advantages. Even grew to like her.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, ma'am.
So with that, we have one final area of the ship to attend to, which is down in the bottom level, the Shuttle Bay. So, we got a lot of stuff to access here, which we can kind of play around with, but rather than playing around blindly, we should have an introduction from Lieutenant, this is American now, Lieutenant Cortez.
Lieutenant Steve Cortez, shuttle pilot. Got news about our supply chains, Commander.
Nice to meet you, Lieutenant. What's going on?
Sorry to just jump in, Commander. There's so much to be done, I get caught up in the tasks at hand.
He's always like that. You need to chill out, Esteban.
So you do care, Mr. Vega? Or is that the Cerveza talking again?
So what's happening with our supply chains, Lieutenant?
Alliance procurement chains are in chaos, but the Citadel's economy is still running. I can network to Citadel retailers. You can view inventory and make purchases right from this console.
When I network to a new store, I'll let you know.
It does cost more to coordinate delivery to the Normandy, so it's cheaper to buy supplies when you're there.
So, you're my shuttle pilot, but you're setting up procurement chains?
I wasn't assigned as Normandy's pilot. Not much need for one on a dry dock ship. I was overseeing the retrofit of the cargo hold. I'm quite familiar with the operation and maintenance of the UT-47 Kodiak and the M44 Hammerhead. From my experience, it made sense for me to take over as shuttle pilot when we left Earth. Especially given Mr. Vega's love of mid-air collisions.
To save the day, pendejo.
I'm also responsible for logistics, making sure the armory and shuttle are properly stocked and maintained.
Do you maintain this armory?
I share that duty with our illustrious Mr. Vega. Though I believe the only weapon he really cares to maintain is himself.
You know you love the show, Esteban.
The first retrofit we did was to move the armory down from Deck 2. I'm not sure what Cerberus engineers were thinking. Now you get off the elevator, pick your gear, and head right into the shuttle.
Just like the original Normandy.
Welcome back to the Alliance, Commander.
How long have you been with the Alliance?
About 10 years. I enlisted in First Fleet serving on the SSV Hawking, flying F-61 Tridents mostly. I love the Trident, and practically dances in low atmo. I spent as much time tinkering on my bird as flying her. Got a bit of a reputation.
So you can fly fighters and fix them?
Yeah, and I got a knack for procurement too. They were grooming me for CAG, but my skill set made me more valuable commanding a flight deck. They assigned me to the Normandy retrofit team about 5 months ago to oversee all cargo bay modifications.
What happened to the M44 Hammerhead?
It was sent to the tech labs for a retrofit. To afford mobility with such a small ESO core, its design sacrificed armor plating. The lab engineers are trying to improve that. After the Reaper invasion, those labs are probably just a pile of rubble.
The Kodiak seems a bit different.
Good eyes, Commander. This is the UT-47A Kodiak. It's got an upgraded ESO core and prototype stealth technology based on the Normandy design. For quick drops, I can get you in and out virtually undetected. She flies like a brick, so that's why you need a good pilot.
You were stationed on Earth. Do you have family there?
I'm an only child. Lost my parents years ago. I had a husband back when I was stationed at Ferris Fields. The Collectors took out the whole colony. I'd rather not talk about it.
Keep up the hard work, but don't kill yourself.
Yes, Commander.
So, a lot to unpack there. We have the armor locker down here, much like the same one in our cabin that we can just check. But as he says, we have the procurement interface. Here we can access any shop we've been to before and order stuff from it at a 10% markup from doing it remotely. So that's the disadvantage of why it might be better to land on the Citadel. When you're dropping like 200 grand, 10% markup is significant. Does give us access to Casa Fabrication, which we've actually not been to before, which is weird that we get that option. We can't afford the Inferno armor, but we can afford a couple of things which I'm going to get, which are the assault rifle magazine upgrade, because I'll use that, and the sniper rifle spare thermal clip. Basically, additional ammo, always nice for the weapons I use regularly. I will take that any day. And with that, we do have a weapon bench. So I'm going to use those quickly and slap into the sniper rifle. Ooh, don't want concentration damage. The concentration mods are really nice. I'll put the clip on and the concentration mod. Like, just having that slowdown is real nice. With the assault rifle, yeah, we will have the magazine upgrade, which is really nice. So that's rounds per magazine. So that's not overall capacity, as in total amount of ammo held, that's amount held. So if it can fire 30 shots before reloading it, if you up it by 10%, it can fire 33 shots before reloading. So that's what that's about. We also finally have the option here for weapon upgrades, so you can buy additional versions of any weapon. So we have the Predator 1, and with that, hey bang, we have the Predator 2. So I'm going to buy the second level of every weapon here, just because we've got the money hanging around, so we may as well use it for every weapon we've got access to. And then for the weapons I have, I'm going to personally dial them up a little bit more, so I'm going to buy the Avenger 3 and the Mantis 3 for my sniper rifle and assault rifle. Finally, can I get from Casa the... No, I can't. I've spent all my cash, otherwise I should go on. Stability dampen is nice as well, because that's dampened recoil, which on a continuously firing assault rifle is actually really nice. With that done, our final goal is to go over and talk to James.
Hey, Shepard. How'd it go with the council?
Same as usual. Non-committal, unhelpful.
Bet they still wanted you to help them out, no?
Yep. We're going to rescue a Turian Primarch from Palaven.
Sounds like fun. Never been to the Turian homeworld. You come down here for something? Or are you just looking?
It's my ship. I go where I want and talk to whoever I want.
Fair enough. Not sure what there is to talk about. You already know my service record.
I don't, actually. I didn't have access to personnel records when we met.
Right. Forgot about that. Well... Think you can dance and talk at the same time?
Oh, I can dance.
Okay, Lola. Let's do this.
Don't let my good looks fool you, Vega. I got my share of scars.
You remind me of my old CO.
Oh, yeah? And who was that?
Captain Tony. He was a hard-ass son of a bitch, but a good leader. Nice.
What do you mean, was? Was?
Died. With most of my squad. Protecting a civilian colony from a collector attack.
And the colony?
It was either them, or the intel we had on the collectors. Intel we could have used to destroy them. I chose the intel.
Sorry. That's a tough call.
The best part was, we didn't really need the intel in the end. Because you were out saving the galaxy by taking down the entire collector homeworld.
You didn't know. You can't blame yourself, Vega.
Who says I'm blaming myself?
I do. Just a guess.
You a shrink too?
No, but that stunt back on Mars was reckless. We're lucky to be alive.
So?
So, maybe you don't care if you live or die.
Or maybe... I'm just willing to do whatever the fuck it takes to end this goddamn war!
Maybe you are. But if you're half as good as I think you are, we need you alive.
Thanks for the pep talk.
Anytime.
Hey. Thanks for the dance, Lola.
No nicknames, Lieutenant. Okay?
Your ship, your rules. Your loss. Commander.
What a fucking wanker. I really hate James. Couple of playthroughs of this game and I've just never warmed to him. He's introduced you out of nowhere, so he's already doing a bit of, like, I think there are comics that detail the in-betweening time, but it's like, already I was not necessarily, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And he's such a wanker, and it's like, all your options are either telling me to dick out or be like, ooh, take me. And it's just like, oh, Lola, I like that. It's like, nah, fuck off, I'm called Commander, you twat. And he's just, as a junior soldier as well, he just completely forgets himself, and it's just, he's an arsehole, and there's no two ways about it for me. Anyway, that is it for our tour of the Normandy. We've met everyone and talked to everyone we can at this point. So, next episode, we are finally going to be exploring the galaxy a little bit and moving on to our mission on Palaven. I hope you'll join me then. Thank you very much, and good day.